we're going to test this. We're going to try to use YouTube Live to record gameplay so that I can watch it back later. We're going to go ahead and do some testing before server reset. So I got my eye tracker set up so I can actually see what I looked at during the game. Some things I think I need to change based on when I did this with M+, and I know things went wrong. This week aura, I don't think I need it. I probably need to find a better way to clean up my bars so it's not taking up so much. I just want more space here. Like, this is all a bunch of information I'm not using, and I need to improve there. So where are we starting from? I am new to Marksman Hunter, and I am relatively new to PvP. So this is the build I've been running. And there's some choices I made here that aren't like what seems to be the standard. The first being binding shot. I found that the thing that kills me more than anything else is getting trained by melee, specifically warriors, and then sometimes anything with like pet classes, just having them all on me at once and having to kite that many targets. I'm not good at using scatter shot, and I don't like the fact that it moves dots because like I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm potentially doing more harm than good by using this button. So this button feels more comfortable for me, longer range. It's helping solve the thing that gets me killed the most, which is melee just staying on me all day long. To that note, I also made the choice of you have some points here that you can point me to: rejuvenating wind, born to be wild, or natural mending. Um, I have been practicing trading CDs so that I'm not just hitting you know exhilarate, survival of the fittest, fortitude to the bear all at the same time. Uh, well, usually I'm not actually running fortitude to the bear. Usually I'm running the cunning pet, I believe is the one that gives you the freedom, but I should have said roar of sacrifice. Either way, uh, the thing that's most likely going to kill me is not having a defensive up. It's that I'm probably going to die when I don't have a defensive available, and I feel like the extra max HP is really valuable from rejuvenating wind. And then I like spending like I want to be able to exil more often. And I found that the CDR on Born to Be Wild isn't that valuable because I'm not that great at using my defensive. So getting cooldown reduction on something that is, the difference in 40 seconds is like the matches aren't lasting that long. I'm not getting a second use out of these most of the time. Where I am getting more uses out of Exhilarate. So I feel like putting the points into Exhilarate is more value. The other thing is Sentinel Owl. I've had some people talk to me about putting in the Sentinel Owl. I tried. It's another button. If I'm not using the button, then it's not doing me much good. So I'm not going to put points into the button. I feel like I'm more comfortable with High Explosive Trap than I am with Intimidate, but I've been really trying to practice Intimidate into Freezing Trap. So I'm going to try to get better at that. Trank Shot. I want to start using this on cooldown a bit more. Same thing with Concussive Shot. I need to get better using this on cooldown on more. I need to make some weak auras for that. Get rid of this big center one that I just copied and pasted from somewhere. Over here, I never press Steady Shot, so that's not doing me any good. I always have my pet out. I wish you could get Hunter's Knowledge without going through Lone Wolf, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. I went ahead and I wasn't good at making sure I was salvoing every volley because I share a CD, so I just macroed salvo into volley because salvo's off the GCD, so I'm just bam salvoing every volley. Problem solved. What else do I need to work on? Bursting shot I could probably get more effective at using, but I'm happy with where I'm at with it. I'm just pretty much coming out of the gate on camouflage. I have this bad habit of coming right out of the gate in camouflage, and I want to press aspect of the cheetah to just get to a better position right away, but I sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I need to be better at saving this to use it more defensively because I am using it as a kiting tool. I mean, disengage is pretty much always on CD because I'm constantly kiting something. Steel trap, I've got all of my traps macroed into at cursor macros, so I'm not having to target with them. But I really think that I need to work. Maybe I shouldn't do that because I need to practice actually seeing where they're going to drop. I don't know. We'll see. Like, servers is going to reset in a few, like, 20 minutes anyway, so this was really just to test the stream. So, I don't know. What else? Death Chakram, need to be better at pressing this on cooldown. Explosive Shot, need to be better at pressing this on cooldown. That's going to be the big one, just using my cooldowns more effectively, which I think getting rid of the weak auras would help. The other thing is, the nameplates I'm using for enemy nameplates is Kiwi? I don't know how people prefer to pronounce it, but I really like it. I have somebody that I've tried PvPing with before, and they recommended fly plate buffs. And I really like the way fly plate buffs works, but because it's so out of date, and it doesn't have a lot of things, like it doesn't have evokers in it at all, it's just constantly throwing Lua errors. And it just doesn't seem worth it, so I don't know. I think maybe I need to find a way of recreating fly plate buffs with maybe like Plater, because I do swap between Kui and Plater, Kui, whatever. Sometimes I prefer the defaults here, but I'm thinking that I might just take some time and get a really good PvP Plater setup that I like, and go from there. Gladius, I don't know. When I'm watching other people play, I'm really good at watching their Gladius, but I'm bad at watching my own, and I think that's because I've got it configured wrong. But I also think it's because I'm not paying enough attention. One of the things, the big thing that I use Gladius for, or at least I was using Gladius for, was, I can't think of the word for it. When you hit somebody with like an ability, and then it puts them on diminishing returns. There we go, diminishing returns. This right here, the TIA diminishing return tracker, has been really good. Like, because this is attaching to the nameplates, I'm watching this constantly, so it's been great. Danger alerts also great. Nameplate totems, this one's been a lifesaver. Like, I was so bad at hitting totems, and now when I see this thing go off, like, I'm just killing, Spirit Link, I'm killing grounding. I like this one a lot. So we need to work on those. That's what we're gonna work on. We're gonna get better at using our cooldowns on cooldown. So Concussive Shot, Death Chakram, Explosive Shot, use those more frequently. Better with my opener, because one of the other things I've noticed is, so I'm going to go into a solo shot round, and what's going to happen is we're going to play the first round, and because I am relatively low rating compared to everybody else, I tend to get focused. I'm only at 1300, and I end up being these 1400, 1600 lobbies with usually like one other person that's also low rating. So it's usually like 2 people of my rating, and then like 4 other people that are much higher. And it's usually me and the other person that's at the low rating that are going to get trained. In the first round, because people don't really treat me like I'm super squishy, I'm usually having a better time. But, like, once people realize how squishy and bad I am at this game, I start to get focused really hard. And so I spend a lot of the game just kiting and trying to stay alive and taking pot shots with Arcane Shot, Rapid Fire. And then, if I'm not being focused, if I get, like, a good stun out, or if we're going... I'll try to hit an aim shot. One of the things, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm also really bad at is goes. Like, I'll throw out a freezing trap when nobody has cooldowns, and it's the worst possible time to go. What I've been trying to get, what I've been doing, because I'm bad at coordinating goes with random players in solo shuffle, is I've been freezing trapping either when it looks like we can get a kill, just based on like somebody's at half health and like they don't have any cooldown running, or if I see a healer pop a big CD, and like we might get the kill anyway, like Ascension for monks is not monks, shamans. I think it's called Ascension. I don't know, the one where they turn into a big water dude and they just start spewing healing. I will freeze out of big healer CDs. And then I don't know. I just feel like it shuts down the CD. Maybe that's not the right way to use it, but if they're not on diminishing returns, and I want to put pressure on them by making it feel like they wasted a cooldown, like freezing traps is 25-second cooldown. Like I will trade their 2-minute, 3-minute ascension for a freezing trap any day of the week. I tend to try to use aspect when I see big cooldowns. So like one of the groups I keep, like one of the common ones I keep seeing is, you see paladins, you see warriors. So when I'm seeing Avatar or Wings come up, like, and they're both on me, that's when I'm aspecting. It's like I'm almost always, not always, but if I'm clearly getting trained focused right out of the gate, like, I Hodge into Avatar into Stormbolt, whatever, I'm aspecting the really big CDs when they're trying to like get their big burst opener, and then rotating through my other ones after that. Now, one of the things I've been bad at is occasionally I will pop aspect too early. I try to pop it right as they start to clearly focus on me, and then I'm like, so what I'll do is they're gonna, like, Hunter's gonna charge in at me. Like, say this is our Hunter here. He's gonna charge into me, bam, he's gonna slam me, he's gonna root me. If they stun right off of that, if he storm bolts right after that, trinket, disengage, and then, you know, concussive shot, usually during the disengage, can't, you know, concussive shot a healing target, and then try to kite, and then he's going to charge me again right after that. One of the things I've seen other Hunter do that I would like to get better at is you can freezing trap the charge. Maybe I should make a at player macro, because what I could do is if I could do an at player macro, I could freezing trap myself as I'm running, and then would drop it behind me. Maybe that's something I need to work on. It might not be a bad idea. But I want to get better at freezing out the charge so that I don't have to pop turtle so early. Like, I have ways, like, because the talent that everybody warrior I seem to be running is like, bam, they're going to charge, they're going to root you. Disengage is going to break that root. It's just the follow-up stun is the only time I might need to trinket off of that. And even then, one of the other things I need to work on is, man, it's hard to solo shuffle. Like, the back at the end of Shadowlands, I tried learning to PvP as a Havoc Demon Hunter, and I only played like 2 or 3 matches, but I played it with a prop pally, or not prop pally, a holy pally, and he was great at communicating and dispelling me when I got hodged. Like, he was like, hey, hodges can be magic, I'll just dispel it off of you. Like, we were in Discord, we were on comms, and we only got to like 1400. Like, he's really good, I'm not. I just didn't have the time to like really focus on it, and like Havoc just wasn't for me. I just didn't like the playstyle. But I don't trust solo shuffle healers to dispel the Hodge. So, I don't know. I'm trinking sometimes dispellable things. The other thing is feign death. Like, I'm trying to feign death. I usually feign death for the magic damage dot removal, not the damage reduction. But, like, if I'm getting, you know, about to get hit with a Chaos Bolt, which I've not seen that many Destro locks, but, like, more Frost mages. So, like, if I'm going to get glacial spiked by a Frost mage, I think I might want to start trying to feign death at the end of the Frost cast to just get the 1.5 seconds of damage reduction. But, I don't know. I need to work on timing. Also, I play Night Elf, not for PvP benefits, because I'm a PvE at heart, and I just like the Night Elf female animations, because what Hunter doesn't like the Night Elf female animations? They're the greatest. So, I'm not great at shadow melding stuns. I've been trying to get better at shadow melding storm bolts. But since I'm not good at that, what I also need to, I've seen other hunters do this, and it's so frustrating when they do it to you, but that means it's something I need to get good at. Is like, say I'm casting an aim shot, they'll be sitting there, and bam, they will, you know, feign death at the end of my aim shot, and so it breaks that. I want to try to get better at using feign death for that same thing, and also using shadow meld as a way to break combat into a camouflage if I don't have a dot on me, or just to be able to shadow, like, if I'm not using it for anything else, using shadow meld to effectively break combat so that they can't hit me with a big thing and I don't have a button for it. Tar Trap, I'm using Tar Trap on cooldown for when I'm getting kited. You know, I'm just dropping it behind me, having, like, this, BM Hunters are great because I don't like them at all because there's so many pets on me constantly, but between Binding Shot and Tar Trap, like, I've been getting much better at, you know, kiting around my traps and using those as a tool. But once again, I need to practice, I need to see if my aim with my traps is actually decent or if I need work. Steel Trap, I don't know if Steel, like, I know it probably doesn't have a slower animation, but man, it feels like I have such a harder time landing Steel Trap. But I've been using it, it's another one where I'm using it as a kiting tool for melee, where kiting tool for melee, kiting tool for melee, kiting tool for melee, go tool for getting a healer or somebody else out of combat, for a time being. I don't know. But this one, Steel Traps are one of those ones where it's like, it's a short route, but that route, because it's going to get broke, but that route is usually enough to buy me some time to get away. And I found that the thing I struggle with more than anything else is melee. Like, I can pillar casters, and they tend not to be focused on me as hard, or if they are focused on me, I can just dance around them. but BM hunters and warriors are the ones I really struggle with. I've only had one match. So let me show you. So I've played 37 games, rounds played 37, rounds won 16. Of those 37 games, so I got a little less than half win rate, but like I'm getting better as I go. At least I like to think I'm getting better as I go. I've only seen one match with an Unholy DK, but it was an Unholy DK, Rep Paladin, Fury Warrior, and that was tough. I went 0-6 on that one because I couldn't get away from any of them. Like, it was each one of them individually. I felt like I wasn't having a problem with. Like, Unholy was probably the one I was struggling with the most, just because of the grips. But I could outkite him with Concussive Shot and Disengage. It was the pets that would kind of get back on me. But I was, I would aspect his A-bomb. The problem was, I get gripped in by the Unholy, and then I would get charged at, or I would get hodged, or like one of the other melee DPS would then lock me down some other way, and then I just feel constantly slowed. So it was really hard to keep out of those fights. So like, that's the only time where I feel like I was hopeless. Like just Ret, Unholy, Fury, and I don't know if that was me. I mean, it's me. Like it's at the end of the day, like if you take somebody who actually knows how to play this class and you put them into the same bracket I am, they're gonna win every game. So it's a skill thing. Like, so my goal for this season, because I feel like I need a goal to get better, is I want to get at least one Great Vault, PvP Great Vault. I'm gonna take it because like I'm still a PvEer. I'm gonna take the 421, and this is an alt. It's not my main, but I want to at least earn one, if not two, slots every week for the remaining of the season, which is only a couple of weeks because May 2nd's coming up fast. It's currently April 14th, so 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, I want to get as many conquest pieces in the vault as I can. Whether or not I actually pick them is irrelevant. The fact that I earned them tells me I'm playing, which means I'm practicing. And then my goal for season 2, which is coming up soon, is I'm already at 1,300, and I think I can hit 1,400 this season. It's just like I just started this 2 days ago. Like I just started this week, so I have a long way to go. I haven't been playing much. And the fact that I'm already almost at 1,400 tells me I should probably get to 1,400 this season. So I'm not gonna make it the goal though, because 2 weeks I already have my goal set. Next season I'm gonna start with the goal of 1,400, and then as I make that goal, maybe we'll just kind of increase that. That's probably gonna be the goal, because that's how you get better. Is you just kind of increase the goal. But the goal is start with 1,400, and then go from there. My other goal, if I didn't start so late in the season, because I feel like PvP is one of those ones where you're really heavily punished for starting so late in the season, is I would like to get next season a full conquest set. Right now, I got just enough conquest over the weekend to buy my weapon, and then I have the crafted PvP gear. I know this one's not good in arenas because a player has to die, which kind of doesn't really matter for solo shuffle because they die, the round's over, but it scales to 424, and that's what I actually care about. So I have the 2 crafted embellished PvP items for the scaling, and then my 2-piece, I'm running my highest item level 2-piece for PvE, so that's going to be my hands, which I know isn't the best slot, and then my shoulders, which is actually great stats, so I'm glad I have the 408 shoulders. But I feel like from what I've seen and what I've been playing, it doesn't feel like the 4-piece is really that valuable, so I'm not running the 4-piece, but I've got full honor, so the blues that scale to 411, 2 424s, well 3 if you can count the weapon, because of the crafted plus the 1 conquest piece, and then my 2 PvE items but my goal for next season, on top of getting 1,400, so this season, just play games. And I'm gonna measure playing games by vault slots, and then season 2 is going to be, I want a full purple PvP set. Like that's the goal. I'm still gonna PvE a lot, so see how much time I put into it. But like once I earn the slots, like I feel like that's where most of the gear comes from. Because like PvPers, I feel bad for you guys. Like earning conquest sucks so bad. Like farming conquest has been a nightmare. Then again, like I've earned 2,000 in the whopping one weekend I've played. But that was, almost a good chunk of that was from quests. Like I did the epic battleground quest. I got the epic battleground one where it gives you, no, that one gives you honor, not conquest. But I did the soul shuffle and the epic battleground quest, which is a bunch, and then I did the sparks quest, which was another like 50. And it's like that, and that's uncapped. Like with the cap, I don't conquest. Oh man, I feel bad. Like that very first season of an expansion must feel rough. But then again, you may also feel like you're actually on the same playing field. So what do I know? One of the other things I'm worried about. So I'm here in Valdraken and there's nothing going on. So like my frames are fine. Like I'm at 3600, but I play with pretty high graphic settings because I really like the way WoW looks and I want it to look good. The only thing I turned down is shadow settings because shadow settings, while they look nice, are the most impactful graphic settings out of anything else. So I've got shadow cranked down, which gives me a bunch of frames. I mean, you can just see I start turning around to look outside, and all of a sudden, bam, rendering distance is gonna drop. Like, ta-da! Like, yeah, and that's just my load distance because that looks cool. Like, of course. So we'll see. This is like I don't think anybody's gonna watch this. I'm just talking to myself for my own notes, but then in case if somebody does end up watching this, then like, hey, cool, maybe they'll have tips. That's great. So this is mostly so I did the same thing in M Plus when I wanted to get good in M Plus and Shadowlands, where I bought an eye tracker, set up the eye tracker. I learned like, oh, I spend way too much time staring here, and so I got some weak ores that helped me get better in M Plus, so I wasn't just staring at my bars all the time. And that was mostly I was learning a new class. Like that's the thing is I'm learning new classes on top of learning a new kind of game mode. So I expected to be staring at my bars, and as I learned my class, I stopped staring at my bars as much. So that's my goal, is to stare at my bars less. But I do have the eye tracker. I didn't do much testing or calibrating with it today, so I don't know how accurate it is. I'm also playing on an ultra wide, and it doesn't really get the corners that well. So hopefully, if anybody else is watching, it's not that inconvenient to them. But for me, it's super convenient to be able to see where I was looking during the game, because what I'm anticipating is I'm going to be staring in the PvP games a lot down here, especially like right here. These are my ones where I've been staring at a lot, and these ones too. So these, like, when I go, and I'm going to get rid of this at some point and remake my weak auras, and I'm going to make them, I think I'm going to put them up here maybe, or right here. I don't know, maybe somewhere better, of like defensives, goes, utility, I don't know. I'll figure something out. But better, like, I just want a better view of my character and what's going on. So I need to clean up where my information is coming from. And so that means I think getting rid of these bars or moving them around. I'm always running pet. I don't have him out right now, but I have Rodney. Rodney's a rodent, so he has Immortal Strike, and he has Master's Call. And then I have Carrie. Carrie is a carrion bird. So she also has a Mortal Strike and Primal Rage, which, is for PvE, not for PvP. But I have one just in case. I think there's some... I was told that like you want one of each family, so I went and got one of each family. And I have Zool. Zool is a lizard. If I'm not getting a lot out of Master's Call, like, for example, going up against rogues, like, I'm not getting away from rogues. They're going to be on me constantly, from what I found. So, with rogues, I'm running Zool because Fortress of the Bear is keeping me alive more than getting out, because they're going to Shadow Step to me anyway. Like, they have Shadow Step up constantly. Sorry, I have a cold today, so I sound terrible. I'm coughing constantly into a mic, which I'm sure isn't fun for people. I don't even know if the stream is working, honestly. Like, my OBS is working. It's streaming to YouTube. I haven't actually looked on the YouTube side. So what we're going to do, because we have 15 minutes, 20 minutes for realms go down for maintenance, is I'm going to stop the stream to go check out to see how the video actually turned out. And if the VOD turned out well, then I will keep doing that. And if not, I have all of that downtime during server maintenance to figure out how to fix it. All right.